Hi everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Sorry I've been a bit MIA. It has been a time. July can just pretty much go suck it. It's just not been a fun time in this household. I have a couple of videos that are meant to go up before this one. However, I haven't done my audio for them yet, and because I got really sick I didn't think anybody wanted to listen to my nasally voice. So I have two videos that should have gone up before this one that will get posted later on, but I wanted to get this one up and out because it is the August subscription kit review from Uniquely Creative. So things have changed a bit this month. I'm sure that you guys will have deduced that from what I was saying in my last video. I have decided to unsubscribe from their Storyteller kit. As lovely as what the Storyteller kit is, and the purpose of it is really great for, as they advertise it, for the time poor people that just want to go in, create a layout based off what somebody else has done and then move on. From that perspective, it is a great concept. I liked it more when the subscription came with different things to the main kit. Sometimes it was better value for money because of their add-ons. Sometimes their papers were better because they were papers that we hadn't seen before and things like that. But when I just looked at the overall inclusions and what I was enjoying more, the main subscription was giving me a lot more for my money. And from that, with removing the Storyteller subscription, I can kind of branch out and maybe get a few extras per month. So that's what I've decided to do. So I brought two extra things which I'll show you in this video this month, and we have the main creative collection. So as always, we do get the book with all of the suggestions and everything else. These I've noticed have become very voluminous. There's a lot of ideas in this, which I really love, because this also plays into turning these main collections into storytellers. You've already got a layout right here that's designed. You can kind of embrace that same idea across this platform as well. And then I also like that this one does also play into turning them into cards as well. The card kit I am maybe considering subscribing to next year once I've built up this paper collection a little bit more. I like folios, and that's why I thought that subscribing to a 12 by 12 paper collection would be better. I also like making cards, but I like the card subscription kit where it gives you the paper, it also gives you the cards. And I've said it before and I will keep saying it, the card bases from Uniquely Creative are some of the best quality card bases that are on the market, and the fact that you get them included in your subscription every month if you are a big card creator is fantastic. So I'm considering changing options next year and maybe going for the card subscription kit, but I'll see how I go. I do love 12 by 12 paper and you can still create cards with it. So I'm not going to go over all of the book. As you can see, there's quite a lot of ideas, but as always we get a preview for next month, which is the September release, and the September release looks to be Christmas themed, but it looks to be more on the, I don't think it's Australiana, but that's the visual interpretation I get from the colours that have been chosen. It's very woodland, flower, nature kind of theme, with just a little bit of Christmas tied in from what I can see. The words are definitely Christmas and the flower arrangements are also Christmassy as well, so that should be interesting when we get a review and there is a preview of what's already been done. So same kind of thing. Okay, so let's get into what was in the main creative subscription kit this month. So we get a bunch of extras this month. We get some crafty twine in the colour black. We get these plastic embellishments. I'll take them out and we can have a look, because I haven't seen anything like this before. So I think that this will help add some dimension to certain projects that you might work on. I don't know that I would use any of these in my kind of crafting, but it's always nice to have and try different things and different styles out. We get the creative cuts, and I always love the font choices that they make. We get a stencil. We get these laser cuts. I probably won't use these, so I'll probably gift these away to some of my crafty friends. It's just not something that I ever play around with or like to use, but I know that there'll be people out there who absolutely love these. And then we get some dimensional stickers, which I'm not sure if it will pick up on, but you can see the foam. And I always love these. These are always great to have in your collection. So those are the extras that we've received this month. Now, before I get into the paper pack collection, because that's what we're all here to see, I just wanted to talk to you about the extra things that I ended up buying. So the first extra thing that I purchased is Uniquely Creative have just come out with these magnets, and these magnets are the really, really thin ones that are perfect for folios and just anything that's got an opening. You can see how thin those are there. And I have previously purchased some from Crafts Online. I can't remember the brand. I'll have it linked up here so that you can see which brand it is. And they're great, but they're a bit pricey, and I thought I would give these a go. These look exactly the same. The difference between the two is that these don't come with any adhesive already on there. They come with these little stickers, so you apply the adhesive yourself, which can make it a lot easier to place them, but that would be the only difference that I've noticed is that these, it's adhesive yourself, and the other ones already come with an adhesive on the back side of them. But yeah, I brought those. And then the other thing that I purchased, which is my first time purchasing, is the colour palette. So every month when there is a collection, there's also cardstock that is available for you to purchase. So what you get in these, for those that haven't seen it before, you get 2 pieces of the same cardstock. So this is actually made on a white core cardstock. So sorry for the close-up, but it is the best I can do to show you. So you can see that it's not blue all the way through. You have a textured side, which isn't going to show up the best on camera, but then you have the non-textured side as well. It is extremely thick. I was surprised by how thick it was because I was expecting it to be similar to the main collection, which is thick, but this is bendable. This, I would say, is sturdy. If you wanted to make something sturdy out of this, if you wanted to make a card base, for example, this would be the type of material you would want because of how thick and sturdy it is. Whereas with this one, this, as you can see, this is a lot more bendable. This is harder to bend because of what it's made from. So you can see, if it focuses, all of the white core. So I'll show you the colours that we get as part of this collection. So you get the blue. Because of the camera and my lights, I would say this colour that you can see on camera, it's actually darker than this. But with how dark this is, I would say it's a bit lighter than this. That's the true colour probably there. You get a burnt orange. I know it comes up orange on screen, but it is more of a burnt orange, probably focus on down here. It's probably more true to that colour than the bright orange. You get a fuchsia. Once again, it looks brighter on screen than what it does in person. You get a black. None of this is shiny. It is matte. And you get a yellow as well. I have never owned any cardstock like this before. So I own the Kmart textured cardstock. That is flimsy that is very comparable to this bend. It is not comparable to this bend. The texture in, I'll see if the yellow brings it up. You can kind of see it there. You can kind of see the texture there. The texture is less noticeable on this cardstock than it is the Kmart cardstock. I'll see if I've got a piece of Kmart to show you. So I have a black comparison to the Kmart cardstock. So the Kmart cardstock is black core. It's very manipulative, it's very bendable, it's thin. That's the texture that you can see just there. Non-textured is there. So this is the comparison to the Uniquely Creative black cardstock. So that's the texture there. It is quite similar. So once again, that's the texture on the Uniquely Creative. That's the texture of the Kmart. Very comparable for that actually, for what it looks like up close and personal. Non-textured is that. The bend, it does look more bendable now that I don't have it all together, but it is very much thicker than the Kmart one. So the Kmart one and the Uniquely Creative one, you can hear the difference in the quality. It's just to be noted that this is going to have the white core. So if you are creating folios or things like that, you will probably find that you need to ink the edges to remove the whiteness. Whereas if you are going to use a coloured core, what you get, for example, in the Kmart pack, you're going to get less sturdyability. Is that even a word? It's my word of the day though. But it's going to be less sturdy, but you are going to have the black core all the way through it. It's really nice. Although I'm doing a Kmart comparison, it's not for a dupe purpose. It's because Kmart is the only coloured textured cardstock that I own, and so this is the first time I have purchased it from an actual paper company, and it's just interesting to see the difference. And of course this is more aimed to scrapbooking, which for me, as I said before, I mostly do folios. So both creating the folios from scratch and then layering the colours on them and the patterns and stuff. So finding a good quality backing is really important, but also the sturdiness of it and the thickness of it will also play a part, because in a scrapbook page, you're going to want texture, you're going to want height, you're going to want layers and things like that. So this is a good option. But for those of us who do things a little bit different, for example, the folios, do we need this much extra bulk in something? And if we are going to use something that has this much extra bulk, does it change how we have to create? Does it change the overall design of the folio we want to create, because we have to cater for this bulk, but we also would have to cater for this bulk? All that being said, guys, let's get into the thing that we're all here to see, which is what this month's paper pack collection looks like in real life. As always, we have our front page with an overview of all of the pages that will be contained. And then the back is the industrial steampunk images. These are great and I love these, but these aren't something that I am interested in, which I'm always a fan of. I love it when there's something on the back that I like, but at the same time I find it quite devastating because I love this. I love the concept of this. I love that I can cut down each individual piece and add that to my project. I love that I could just cut this down and have this be like the side of my project. When I'm not inspired by what's on this particular page, it makes me happy because it means that I can definitely use this without having to cry about cutting into this side. All right, so here's the paper. Let me see if I can get us all in. I was so excited when I saw the preview for this month's collection because it is something different. One of the reasons why I decided to actually subscribe to the Uniquely Creative paper collection, first and foremost, if I'm being brutally honest, is because I'm in Australia. We don't have many options, and supporting an Australian company is really important to me, and I'd heard a lot of good things, and I liked that they were doing something a little bit different, that they were doing their own type of designs, a color palette that was sometimes in my taste, and then also color palettes that put me so far out of my comfort zone that I would hopefully be inspired to use it, or that I would be able to incorporate it into things that I do anyway. And so far, because I've been doing this, I don't have the January collection. I received my collection starting from February. There's only been 1 month that has blown me away, and I will keep talking about April's release because I still think about the colours, the choices of the design, the layouts. I love everything about that. I mean, it does help that purple is one of my colours I like to design with, but at the same time, purple isn't a colour that I gravitate to. It's mostly like the pinks and stuff like that I'm easily drawn to. But then all of the other ones that we've received have been either very similar or not my aesthetic or things like that, and it doesn't detract from the quality or the design because it's never going to appeal to everybody, and of course they're not creating it to design to me specifically. I wanted to be taken out of my repetitiveness with using the same type of images or styles or colors and stuff, but it was just that little bit too repetitive. Either it was repetitive because of the color choices, repetitive because of not the images being the same images, but the image style being repetitive, or it being flowers and then flowers again, or people and people again, or paint and then paint again, bricks again. This will have aspects of paint. It will have access. I think there's also a picture in here too. I will get into how it differs and why this particular collection excites me. So I've taken up a lot of our time just by talking about it rather than showing you guys. So this has got traces of the other kits in it. So it has got like the peeled paint aspect. It's got some worn. It's got some of the industrial things that we've seen before. But then it's the splash of color. It is the, I guess the graffiti or the punk side of it that makes this different. I haven't seen something like this before. And although Uniquely Creative might have done something similar like this before, I haven't seen it myself. And industrial, not really my thing. The peeled paint is, but we've had that a lot in the other month's collections. This makes it interesting. It makes it something different. It makes it something that is going to inspire me. And also, the best part that I find is I might not be inspired by the industrial collection. or the industrial kit that we received. But there's going to be papers in that kit that I can use in conjunction with this one. If I'm creating something, if I need more plain, so let's say this is my focal piece, but I need more of just this plain aspect here, I'm going to have that in the industrial or some of those other kits that we've received lately. The back of this one here is the graffiti. I love this too. I love that it's different. It's a lot. I can see this being overwhelming if not used correctly. Not that there's a correct way to do anything, but I could see how somebody would be overwhelmed by this amount of color and this amount of images. But what I like about this is a little bit of this on something plain is going to stand out. Using this for your die cuts, for your words, for example. So even using this big here and cutting out those and putting those on a section here, because it's got the white border, it lessens the severity of the colors here. I love this. This is really, really fun and different to what we've seen. So you get 2 of those, of course. And I just wanted to point out this month I was a little bit disappointed because the bottom of each page is white this month. And I've loved how they've been putting words or cut parts or sentences down the bottom of the pages. So I'm sad it's missing this month. I'm sure that there's a reason for it, but I love that concept and that added in, because rather than just chopping the bottom of this off and having to throw it away, it becomes a usable piece. This is the next one. Once again, it's giving us what we've already had over the past couple of months, but then jazzing it up. And I love that because, as I said before, it just means that those other kits that I didn't know necessarily what to do with, or those other pages I didn't know what to do with, I can figure out, okay, I've got a white peeled paint in there that will go with this if I need extra papers and things along those lines. Even cutting just this out and fussy cutting this out and adding this as like another layer to something is also something that is really cool and interesting. And even this is like, you can tell it's a sky, it's got the blue in it, and it's just laid over the top of this. It's just stunning. The colors are stunning. So I would say that what you're getting on camera is true to real life. Maybe it's just a tad bit brighter on camera, but it is just gorgeous. And the one thing I love about Uniquely Creative's designs is on camera, they just pop. This looks almost 3D on camera, and I love that. Once again, as I was saying, we've got a lot of the same stuff we've received in the other ones, but this is just a different take on it. So I don't mind. It also fits in perfectly, of course, to what they were going for overall. So it's perfect for this kit. But if you didn't want this, or if you wanted to fussy cut this part out, you do have just a generic one on the back. Now we have this one here. This is called Tinker. I never call out the name of the pages. I always forget to, so sorry if you find that helpful. I mostly am just looking at the colors and the backgrounds and stuff, and I don't think I have noticed on the other pages, but it's definitely there. All of these pages have got the most beautiful darkened like shadowing. Every single one of them. It's this type of attention to detail that makes me really like the Uniquely Creative papers, because having this dark charcoal around the edges makes this pop even more so than if this was white, because although it's a white core paper, it means I don't have to do that myself. It's so cool. I love the colors. I love that they've put the aqua green, and then you've got some purple down here, you've got oranges, like all of the rainbow colors that they've chosen to use just work so well, and they've combined it with something that some people might just look for. If I talk generally about me, I'm not going to use this type of image, but I'm going to use this type of image with this type of color splat, because I'm going to put this almost with my thoughts of my April one, because I just love it. I love that it's so different. The peeled paint aspect again, but we have some writing down here. This one's more of a modest take on the steampunk aspect, or the steam aspect, I guess. We just have a little bit of color and the peeled paint. And then we've got lots of colour on the back with the pinks. We've got some brick. Now, the brick designs that they've done in this collection, I haven't seen in prior collections. Some similar, minimal, but just the design is different. And I'm excited about that too, because although we have received a few brick patterns in the other paper collections, it's nice to have like a different take on them or a different colour palette. So I do like this. I like that this is quite minimal with the colours as well. Although I could do with way more colour splat on this, I think it's a great idea we've got a few that are quite colour heavy on the other ones, so it makes sense to have some that are light-handed with the colour, and then lots of colour on this side. So many ideas. This, and I know that this kind of looks simple, This one here, I would say, is either my favorite or my second favorite piece of the whole collection. I love how this looks. I love that it is brick. I love that it is colored. I love that it is simple and it has the text up here. By far one of my favorite pages that exists in any of the collections I've received so far. Some more colors. And I'm not talking a lot about these because I feel like all of them could be seen as a bit overwhelming in what to do with it. However, I love these too. It's just that these ones here are a bit more toned down. These ones here are a bit more in your face, but I love both of them equally. This one here is our cut apart sheet. There's not much things on this page specifically that I would use. Maybe possibly this one. You guys know my feelings on fussy cutting. I love seeing other people fussy cut. I love how they can do it. I can't. I'm not that talented. But there's some things that I'll give a go. But from memory, I did like the back side. I did. I love the pastel colors, like the pastel colors on the peeled paint and stuff like that. It's just such a cool concept. So it's kind of, I love it when I don't like the cut aparts, or when I'm not a fan of the cut aparts, I should say, because then it frees me up to use the back side and not be sad that I'm not using the other side. And then we have our last piece here, which is another one of the colored bricks. I also love this one. This one is only, I think, yes. So these two are the only two that don't have the black edging on the top. I think both could have used the black edging, but that's only because I'm a big fan of it. And if I could have that on all pages all the time, everywhere, in every color possible, I would be okay with that. So we just have a plain brick pattern here, and I love this because this one doesn't have any of the images of any of this, like the steam aspect or the punk aspect. It's just a pastel page. So this could be used across some of the other pages that we've received in previous subscriptions. Could be used by itself, could be used to enhance any of those pages. I love that. And then on the back of this, we have some more cut aparts and we have some tags. And all of these tags I'm a big fan of. Anytime I can get any more of these type of pastel colors with this kind of imaging, oh, love this. Love this so much. But yeah, that's this month's collection. As I said, I was super excited when I saw the preview of this month's collection because of how different it was. But it's not different in the sense of, oh wow, this concept's different, or we haven't seen this before. I think everything on these pages, to a certain extent, we've seen before this year from Uniquely Creative, but it's combined them together in a way that is different, and that those of us who don't think outside the box, speaking specifically to myself, wouldn't have necessarily have put these type of concepts together ourselves in our processing. So the pastels, the lightness of the color tones, the rainbow color tones, the steampunk aspect mixed in with the pastels and then the punk aspect. It's gorgeous. Chef's kiss to this month's design team and how they come up with this, because I have been a little bit disheartened. I'm not sure if it came across in my videos by some of the previous months. They've been beautiful and they've been lovely, but I want to love everyone as much as I loved April's, and I'm not always going to do that, but this is so different but so similar, and I love it because it's going to allow me to use some of the other collections that I have. I can easily mix them in with this. It's a really great piece in order to make months papers relevant to using across other months. And I really like that concept. Anytime that I can find a reason to go, oh, I can combine this set with another set, makes it so much more value for money and so much more user friendly. And I'm a big fan of that. I mean, I'm biased. I love pastels. I love pink. I love all of those colors here, but it was always going to appeal to me because of the colors. It's just gorgeous and I love it. So that is this month's review of the main collection from Uniquely Creative. I will of course have it linked below if you're interested. I'm sure there's still some available if you guys are. You can either buy this of course in the collection pack like what I've done where you get all of the extras, or you can just buy the paper by itself. But thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry about my croaky voice. As I said, I do have a couple more videos that were meant to go up before this one. However, that didn't happen. So those will be the next ones that I work on. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys.